lovelies, Lauren here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be leading you through a fairly mellow, slow flow. This is perfect to perhaps practice the middle of your day to give you that kind of midday reset. So there's a little bit of everything in there. There's stretching, tiny bit of strength, little bit of mindful movement as always, and I recommend having a couple of blocks. So I'm actually seated on my blocks to begin with, so have a couple of blocks if you have them, but if you don't, feel free to grab a couple of cushions, but you might need something a little bit more sturdy throughout the practice. So maybe a couple of boxes, tin cans, anything you find that kind of resembles a block will work absolutely fine. And then we're gonna come to seated on top of our blocks or on top of our cushions. So you can separate the feet. So your heels kind of come either side of the hips, knees come together, and you can rest the palms of the hands down on your thighs. You might have the palms of the hands facing up. Soften those shoulders down and away from those ears. And let's just take a few moments to arrive here. Arriving into our practice, stepping out of our day and onto our mat. And just notice how you feel here. Taking a couple of slow and steady breaths here and just seeing what you notice. So as always at the beginning of our practices together, take a few moments just to check in. And perhaps you notice in the past couple of weeks, days, or maybe months even, that there's this general consensus that we feel as though we're being pulled in different directions. The mind is constantly working, constantly dashing from one thought to the next. We're always on the go, we're always busy. So perhaps you have been experiencing that recently, or even if not, that's okay. But often when our mind is feeling stretched, it can be a reminder to give yourselves a little bit of space. Give yourselves a little bit of time. And in some small way, we've already taken that little step to give ourselves that space and time by stepping onto our mats today. We might even feel that pulling in different directions physically in the body. So we might feel that the body is almost disconnected from our breath, perhaps here. So without any intention of finding peace or clarity, although those things would be amazing right here and now, let yourself just simply arrive. So if there's anything you need to do physically in the body, a little adjustment here and there, a little physical shift, a roll of the shoulders, a sway of the head, anything at all, take a moment to move through those changes and enable them to bring you that little bit closer to home, settling into the body, whatever it is. And whatever you notice here, whatever you notice about yourselves, about your thoughts, feelings, emotions, it might be quite relieving to realize that we don't need to change any of those things. We don't need to change how we feel. We don't need to strive towards a particular emotion or a particular state of being. We can acknowledge and accept all that we are in this moment. Perhaps take a moment to send your awareness to your heart space, and you can place a hand there if that helps you. Draw your awareness to not just this physical heart space, but this emotional heart space, this emotional container that holds everything you are feeling. Ask yourselves, what are you holding on to here? Is there a particular emotion or thought that's louder than the rest? And again, just acknowledge it, appreciate it, sit with it for a moment. We don't need to change a thing. Take a deep breath in through the nose, fill up the lungs entirely. Soft sigh out through the mouth. Let's take 2 more of those. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 1 more. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. You can let that hand softly fall away from the heart space if it hasn't already. Keep the eyes closed if you wish, or maybe flutter them back open. Welcome yourselves back into your little yoga space today. And let's gently invite some movement into the body. So as we inhale, let's sweep the arms up and above. Take a moment to grow tall, lift the shoulders up to the ears. And as you exhale, find this cactus shape. So draw the elbows down in line with your shoulders and keep squeezing the elbows back behind you, taking the heart up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. As we exhale, let's bring the arms out in front. See if you can bring the palms of the hands together to close. Maybe the elbows close as well here. Keep lifting the elbows up in line with the shoulders and also push them away from your chest here. And again, as we inhale, we open across that heart space and the elbows out to the side. Maybe tilt the chin to look up to the sky slightly here. And again, exhale, we close. Beautiful, moving with the breath. Let's take 1 more round with this. Inhale, open up through that heart space, looking up. And as we exhale, let's rain the fingertips down. Beautiful. Keep lifting up through the heart and either bring your hands to your lower spine, squeezing the elbows together, or maybe interlacing the fingertips at your lower spine. As you inhale, send the backs of the hands away, lift up through the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Try and lift your hands away from your back body here to get a little bit more of a stretch through the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. 1 more inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to nestle the hands towards your right hand side. So keeping the hands interlaced, hopefully this is clear. So bringing the hands as far round to the right side body as you can here. Keeping the head neutral for a moment. You might already feel this kind of stretch through the shoulder. And then when you're ready, take a breath in. As you exhale, drop your right ear down to the right shoulder. Feeling that gentle stretch through the left hand side of the neck, the left shoulder here. Beautiful. Another breath in. Another breath out. As we inhale, let's lift the head up through the center. Push the knuckles away. And again, deep stretch across the heart space here. Suddenly I can't talk. And as we exhale, we come across to the side. So bring the knuckles to the left hand side as far around as they can go. Keep the head neutral as you inhale. As we exhale, left ear down to the left shoulder, gentle stretch to the right side of the neck. Or this might be less so of a gentle stretch. It might feel quite a potent stretch for you if you are holding quite a bit of tension in the shoulders and the neck. This might feel like quite a deep stretch maybe. Take another breath in. And another breath out. Inhale to lift the head up through the center. For the final time, let's send the knuckles away. Lift up through the head and heart. Squeeze the shoulder blades. As we exhale, let's gently release. Beautiful. Bring the hands out in front. Lift the sit bones away from your blocks or away from your cushions, whatever it is you are using today. And you can take a moment to kind of push them out to one side. And then let's bring the hands down towards the ground. Take a moment here. Nestle the knees underneath the hips. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, begin to stretch the arms forward, coming into puppy dog, anahatasana. So melting the heart down towards the mat. The hips stay level over the knees here. You might find that the forehead comes comfortably down, or maybe it's the chin or the side of the face. Anything at all here, again, getting that deep stretch across the shoulders, across the chest. Keeping this fairly active, so lifting the elbows away from the ground here. Beautiful. Take another breath in. And another breath out. As you inhale, softly rise back up, push down through the hands, walk the hands back towards you, come back into your tabletop. Beautiful, and lightly spreading the fingertips down into the earth, so being fairly active through the hands here. Let's open up into the hip space. So as you inhale, let's lift the right leg up to the sky, keep the knee bent, and draw as much of a large circle with that right knee as you can. So taking that right knee out to the side. Exhale as that right knee comes down, let the thighs kind of brush up against one another. Inhale, take that right knee back up. Exhale out to the side. Beautiful, it drops down. One more full circle. Inhale, right knee to the sky. Exhale to the side. Now as you send it out to the side, see if you can send the knee towards the back of the right arm. And then ever so softly step that right foot to the outside edge of the right hand. Coming into a little lizard lunge. So you might kind of keep the hips over the left knee. Or you might walk the hands forwards a touch, wriggle that right foot forwards and let the hips drop towards the center. Maybe. We don't have to, okay? This might already feel like quite a deep stretch, and this is our first kind of deep hip opener of the practice, so take it easy. Have a little sway from side to side, maybe. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then from here, push down through the hands. Begin to lengthen that right leg. Again, bring the hips level over the left knee. And maybe pick those right toes up to the sky. So coming into a variation of your half split stretch. But we're not going to stay here for too long. So we're actually going to rock the weight forwards and back. So as you inhale, bend back into the right knee. Let the hips drop low. Lift it through the heart. Deep breath in. As we exhale, we send it back. Hips over the left knee, right toes to sky. Inhale, bring it forwards. Exhale, send it back. Beautiful. Inhale, coming back forwards. And then from here, plant the hands firmly down to the earth if they're not already. Push down through the hands, lift up out of the hips slightly. Send this right leg straight on back behind you. So without letting the belly kind of dip down towards the ground, keep this nice long line. So knit the rib cage together, kick energy out through the right heel. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, bend into that right knee, point the toes up to the sky, keep the hips square, so try not to open the right knee out to the side here. Inhale, lift up through the head and heart, look forwards, almost imagine your toes are going to touch the crown of your head here. Now as we exhale, knee to nose, round the back, push the ground away. Beautiful. Inhale, we go again, right toes to sky, look forwards. So it's almost like a cat and cow motion, but we've got that added back leg. Beautiful. Exhale, knee to nose. Let's take one more full round. Inhale, right toes to sky. Lift up through the head and heart. Exhale, knee to nose. And then we can settle that right knee down next to left. Come back into your tabletop. Let's repeat all of that on the other side. So, first of all, starting by lifting the left knee, keep the left leg bent. Inhale, open the left knee out to the left-hand side, so drawing as much of a circle as you can here. Let the thighs brush up against one another. Inhale again as you take it to the sky. Exhale, comes out to the side. One more. Inhale, knee to sky. Exhale out to the side, and again this time sending the left knee to the back of the left arm, softly stepping left foot to the outside edge of that left hand. And again, you can stay here. Feel free to bring a couple of blocks underneath the hands if you need that little bit more height. You can keep the right knee, keeping the right hip over the right knee. Or maybe starting to walk the fingertips forwards, creep the left toes forwards, let the hips drop down. Beautiful. Bring a little bit of movement in here, a little sway from side to side. Okay. Nice and easy. Beautiful. Have another breath in here. And another breath out. And then from here, we push down through the hands, begin to send the hips back. So again, they come level over the right knee. We lengthen the left leg, lift the left toes up to the sky. And again, we're not pausing here for too long, just getting that stretch down the back of the left leg. And then as we inhale, we shift the weight forward, sink back into the left knee, hips drop low, heart rises. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, bring it forwards. And exhale, send it back. Beautiful. Inhale, coming back forwards, hands flat down to the earth. We push down through the hands as we send the left leg all the way back this time. And again, we keep the hips square. We keep knitting the ribcage together, so without kind of collapsing in the lower spine and letting the belly drop down. Push the ground away. Beautiful. Draw your belly button in towards your lower spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend into the left knee, left toes to sky. Inhale, lift the left leg a little bit higher, lift it through the head and heart, look forwards. Exhale, knee to nose, beautiful. So again, cat-cow motion here with that added back leg. Inhale, left toes to sky, lift it through the head and heart. So now you can let the belly drop down slightly. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, left toes to sky. Exhale, knee to nose for the final time. And then we can settle that left knee down next to right. And again, take a moment to wiggle around, groove, shake off the hips from side to side. Beautiful. Now as you inhale, tuck all 10 toes under for me. Lift up through the head and heart. Big breath in. Exhale, begin to press the hips back as if you're coming into a child's pose. At the last moment, we push down through the fingertips, lift the knees away and come into your downward facing dog. Now as always in our down dog, we can invite some movement in, pedal out through the feet, bending one knee then the other. Again, getting that nice deep stretch through the back of the legs. Beautiful. Take another deep breath in. And another deep breath out. Inhale to look forwards towards your fingertips. Bend through the knees and steadily walk the feet all the way towards your hands. Take your time, no need to rush here. Beautiful, landing into your forward fold. And again, maybe there's that little softness through the knees. But of course, letting the upper body just hang heavy, little sway from side to side. Okay, take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. As we inhale, let's steadily roll up through the spine, push down through the heels of the feet, stack up bone by bone. As always, the head is the final thing to lift. And then we lift the shoulders up to the ears, big shoulder roll here. Exhale, set the shoulders down and away. Beautiful. Moving through a little flow now. Inhale, let's sweep the arms up, grow tall. Exhale, dive it down, open across the heart as you go. Find that length through the spine as you fold here. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to your shins. Zip up through the spine, flat back. Exhale, return to your fold. Let's bend the knees, plant the hands, lightly step it back into a plank. Find that nice long line, take a deep breath. Exhale, lower the knees first here if you wish, and then controlling the lower, hug the elbows in. Softly land like a feather on your bellies. Inhale, roll the shoulders away from the ears, lift up into a back bend of choice. So this could be Sphinx here with elbows underneath the shoulders. You could take a little baby cobra, or maybe you take a full cobra, whatever feels best for you. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Beautiful, take a deep breath. As we exhale, let's tuck the toes, push the hips to the sky, and come back to your downward facing dog. And again, a little wiggle here, beautiful. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. And then from here, step the feet about mat distance apart, point the toes out, heels in. You're going to bend through the knees and at the same time walk your hands back towards the feet, sinking the hips down towards the ground, coming into your malasana at the back of the mat. And as you arrive here, feel free to keep the fingertips down towards the ground. You might bring a little cushion underneath the heels of the feet if you need a little bit of support. You can stay like so, focusing on the breath, sending it down to the hip space. Or maybe it helps to invite a little sway from side to side. So waking up into that hip space, if we've been sat for long periods of time today, this might feel quite potent, might feel quite strong. So again, slow and steady with the breath, softly swaying from side to side. You can even take an arm up to the sky if you wish, get a lengthening through the sides of the body. Beautiful, one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Lovely, come back through the center. And then from here, walk the hands forwards, hips to sky. Back to your downward facing dog. You can bring the legs slightly closer back together now. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale to look forwards, bend through the knees and steadily walk the feet towards your hands. Okay. Forward fold. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Lovely. Inhale, let's steadily rise up. Take your time. Beautiful. Well done. Stack up bone by bone. Head lifts and then we take the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, we send them down and away. Beautiful. Really well done. Okay, from here, let's simply take a nice big step back with the left leg. So left leg steps back, turn those left toes out 90 degrees, sink into the right knee, reach the arms out to the side, warrior two. So you got the right arm reaching forwards, left arm reaching back, strong through the legs, press down through the pinky toe edge of that back foot, sink into this right knee. Beautiful. Let's just take a couple of breaths here, settling into the integrity of the pose. So feeling kind of that activity, that energy fire up through the legs. So almost like you kind of want to hug the thighs together, tuck the tailbone under. Beautiful. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more. And then from here, let's bend into the right elbow. Right forearm meets the right thigh. Let's sweep the left arm up and over, roll the left shoulder back as you go. Continue to let the hips drop, beautiful. Make sure you're not collapsing all of your weight down through this right elbow. So if anything, we want to be able to lift the right elbow and hover it off just for a little bit, activating through the core. So not just relying on the structure of our bones to keep us here and kind of hanging out in the pose. We're still nice and active, beautiful. Find this nice diagonal line from your left fingertips to, again, to that pinky toe of the back foot, like we're being pulled in those two different directions. And then as we inhale, let's lift that left arm up to the sky. Exhale, circle it down. Beautiful. So nice big arm circle here. It reaches down to the ground. Inhale, it reaches forwards and up, and as you reach it forwards and up, roll that left shoulder back. You can follow your fingertips with your gaze. Exhale, send the left arm down. Beautiful. Inhale, left arm circles forwards and up. Exhale, left arm circles down. Inhale, left arm circles forwards and up. Now, from here, as we exhale, let's now wrap this left arm around our lower spine, taking a half bind here. So seeing if your fingertips of the left hand can meet that hip crease on the right hand side. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Breath out. Now as we inhale, push down through that right foot to lift the chest. Keep sinking into that right knee, keeping this half bind. Sweep the right arm up to the sky. Reverse warrior. Beautiful. So right fingertips sweep on up. The left arm is wrapped back behind you. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, right arm reaches forwards. Now we can lengthen that right leg and maybe shorten your stance. So maybe heel toe the back foot in slightly. You've still got that half bind with the left arm. Take a breath in. Exhale, reach forwards through the right fingertips as far forwards as you can go. And then bring this right hand down either to the inside of the right leg. Maybe we take hold of the shin or the ankle. Maybe the hand can come down towards the earth. Or maybe we find our trusty block. Hopefully it's not too far away from you. And bring the block underneath the hand to again bring the ground up to you. If you've lost that half bind for a moment, again, wrap the left arm around the lower spine. Roll the left shoulder back. You can look up to the sky if that feels okay for your neck here. Beautiful. Let's take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, look down towards the ground. Begin to bend into this right knee. Unravel the left arm, left hand flat down to the earth. You can move any blocks out to the side. Spin onto the ball with the back foot. Sweep the right arm up to the sky. Revolved runner's lunge. If this feels a little bit too much today, you could drop that left knee down maybe, but keep rolling the right shoulder back. Beautiful. Let's just hold here for a breath. And an exhale. And then we circle the right arm down to frame this right foot. Take a moment to hop the left foot in slightly so you can firmly drop that left heel down to the ground. Maybe finding some blocks for this, so one block underneath each hand, either side of this right foot. So you're finding your pyramid pose, so lengthening the right leg when you're ready, keeping the hips square, pull right hip back, left hip forwards. See if we can bring the torso perhaps parallel to the ground, maybe. Okay, this might be enough for you. Do feel free to stay wherever you are. But maybe we invite this little wave through the spine. So take a breath in. As you exhale, tuck the chin towards the chest, round through the back, almost like you want to send this nose towards your right thigh. And with your nose, you're going to then draw a line down the leg. So we lead with the nose, soften through the elbows. Inhale, draw that line. Lengthen through the spine, lift back up, flat back. Let's have a little look at that twice more. So exhale, we round through the back, tuck the chin towards the chest. Inhale, draw a line down the leg with the nose. Inhale, rise back up. One more time, exhale. Inhale, soften through the elbows. Rise back up halfway. And as we exhale, let's bend through that right knee. Bring the blocks out to one side, hands flat down to the earth. And then from here, sending this right leg all the way up to the sky, open out into that right hip, three-legged dog. Beautiful. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out, feeling just a little bit of fire. As you inhale, lengthen the right leg, square off the hips. Exhale, right knee to the chest. Beautiful, and softly settle this right shin down towards the mat. Take a moment to lengthen the left leg back behind you. So you've got this kind of right ankle slightly swept over to the left. And that right heel, is going to be slightly underneath your left hip here. Keep the hip square. If you notice you have this tendency to crash down towards the right hand side, you could use a block or a cushion underneath that right hip again to keep those hips square. We can keep the heart lifted if that feels okay for you. As you exhale, maybe beginning to fold forwards. Melt the heart down towards the earth. Beautiful, well done. Okay. Lovely. Let's take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. As we inhale, let's gently begin to rise all the way back up, push down through the hands. Take any prop out from underneath that right hip before you go. And then let that right hip now come down towards the earth. Sweep the left leg all the way around. And see if we can cross this left foot over the right knee. Okay. So left foot flat down to the earth, left knee kind of pointed up to the sky. Keep both sit bones down to the ground. If you feel like this left sit bone is lifted, you could extend the bottom leg, your right leg. So again, get that nice solid connection to the earth, okay? And then from here, let's bring the left hand back behind us. Inhale, right fingertips reach up to the sky to find length. And as we exhale, let's hook that right elbow to the outside edge of the left thigh. Beautiful. Softly spiraling round, wringing out the body here. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. One more inhale. One more exhale. As you inhale, begin to unravel, look forwards, reach the arms forwards, and then take a little lean back, using your core strength to unravel the legs, boat pose. Beautiful. So lifting the ankles in line with your shins. If you need a little bit of support for your lower spine, you could lightly bring the hands back behind you. Beautiful. Just holding here for a deep breath in. A deep breath out. And then from here, we can set the feet back down. Now, as the feet land, bring your right shin directly in front of you, left shin slightly out to the side. So almost having the right sole of the foot come to the top of this left thigh, okay? You're then going to walk the hands in the opposite direction. So walking the hands around to the right, and looking back behind you. Beautiful. So kind of a twist in the other direction. You might be able to look past your right shoulder and look towards your left toes. Beautiful. And again, let's just hold here for a breath. And an exhale. Inhale, let's unravel, walk the hands back through the center. You can keep the legs as they are as you bring the hands out in front. Step the left foot back, then the right, hips to sky, downward facing dog. Beautiful, well done. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Inhale, look forwards. And then bend through the knees, steadily walk the feet all the way towards the hands. Okay, beautiful, well done. Okay, back into that forward fold, soften through the knees, let the upper body just hang heavy here. Take another breath. And another exhale. Inhale, steadily roll up through the spine, stack up bone by bone. Beautiful, head lifts, and then we take the shoulders up to the ears, big shoulder roll. Exhale, send the shoulders back and down. Beautiful. Let's have a little look at that sequence on the other side. So taking a nice big step back with the right leg, drop the right heel down, turn the right toes out 90 degrees. Begin to sink into the left knee, left arm reaches forwards, right arm reaches back. Try to find this nice long line from one arm to the other. Soften through the shoulders, send energy out through the fingertips. Beautiful. Okay. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Feel the strength of the legs. One more breath here. And an exhale. And then bend into the left elbow. Left forearm meets the left thigh. And again, just make sure you're not simply collapsing all of your weight down here and having a jolly time. Let's be active, letting the hips drop low. Roll the right shoulder back. And then sweep that right arm up and over, being pulled in two different directions. Something's gently pulling you by your right fingertips, but something's keeping you rooted down through that back foot. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Let's find those circles with that right arm. So inhale, right arm to the sky. Exhale, circles to the back. It comes down towards the ground, and then again, inhale, reach the right arm forwards and up, roll that right shoulder back as you go. Exhale, circle the right arm back and down. Beautiful, two more. Inhale, big sweep forwards. Exhale, it circles back. One more, inhale, sweep forwards. Exhale, circle back. And then this time, inhale, we sweep the right arm forwards and up to straight up to the sky. And then beginning to wrap the right arm around your lower spine, seeing if the fingertips can meet the inner hip crease on the left-hand side. Slightly push the back of the right hand into your lower spine, again to further roll that right shoulder back. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then we push down through this left foot, still sink into the left knee. Left arm sweeps up and over. Keep that half bind. Reverse warrior. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhale, come back, warrior two. Lengthen the left leg. Take a moment to shorten the stance. Heel toe that back foot in. Reach the left arm forwards as far forwards as you can go. Take a breath. As you exhale, again, all of these options, left hand to shin or ankle, to the ground maybe, or using your trusty block. Beautiful, and finding your Trikonasana, keeping that half bind if you can. So if you've lost it, gently wrap that right arm back around and see if we can find it again. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, softly look down towards the ground. Begin to bend into this left knee. Bring the right hand flat down to the earth. Take the block out from underneath you just for a moment. Spin onto the ball of the back foot. Sink into the left knee, left arm to sky. Revolved runner's lunge. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then circle the left arm down to frame that left foot. Again, we're going to hop the back foot in, so this time right foot hops in slightly, keeping that right heel flat down to the earth. Find your blocks, find your props, whatever you're using underneath both hands, framing that left foot, pyramid pose. So from here, we're lengthening the left leg, squeezing left hip back, right hip forwards, finding this really long spine, so like something's gently pulling you from the crown of the head, and also pulling you from your tailbone here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let's wave. Tuck the chin towards the chest, around through the back. Inhale, draw that line down the leg with your nose. Rise up, flat back. Two more. Exhale, tuck the chin. Inhale, send it down the leg, rise up. Even if this feels a little bit strange, it's okay. Let's go with it. Nothing has to feel as graceful as it can be. Sometimes things can feel clunky, and sometimes they are the most beautiful. Okay, one more. So tucking the chin towards the chest. Exhale. Inhale, soften through the elbows. Draw that line. Beautiful. Now as we exhale, let's bend into that left knee. Place the blocks to one side, hands to the earth. Sending this left leg all the way up to the sky. Open three-leg dog. Bend into that left knee. Take it high to the sky. Beautiful. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, lengthen the left leg, square off the hips. Exhale, left knee to the chest. Softly settle the left shin down towards the mat. Beautiful. Pop the right knee down. Walk the right toes back a couple of times. Beautiful. And either stay lifted up through the hands, finding your pigeon pose. Again, use a prop underneath that left hip if you wish to. And then when you're ready, maybe folding down for a few moments. Resting on the forearms, maybe forehead comes flat down to the earth. Entirely up to you. Okay. Let's take one more deep, nourishing breath in. And a deep breath out. Inhale, rise all the way back up. And then from here, let's release the block out from underneath the left hip or whatever prop you are using. Let the left hip come down. This time we sweep the right leg all the way around. And crossing the right foot over the left knee. Keeping both sit bones grounded, so again, if you need to release that left leg, feel free to do so. And then bring the right hand back behind you. Inhale, left fingertips soar up to the sky again. Find length here. Exhale, left elbow to the outside edge of the right thigh. Beautiful. Twisting around. Okay. Beautiful. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. As we inhale, begin to unravel. Reach both arms forwards, gaze straight ahead. Maybe gently leaning back, using your center, your core to unravel the legs. Bring the ankles in line with your shins. Boat pose, beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Softly let the feet come down, beautiful. Working that twist the other way, so left shin comes down directly in front of you, so it's almost kind of parallel to the top of the mat. Right shin back behind you, and then we walk the hands the opposite direction, so we walk the hands round to the left, as far as feels comfortable here, and then looking round your left shoulder, see if you can look towards your right toes. Beautiful. Let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, let's softly unravel, beautiful. And then from here, let's swing the legs out in front. You can keep a little bend in the legs here. Really well done, okay? Sit bones firmly rooted down. Inhale, grow tall, lift up through the heart. Exhale, folding forward. So don't feel as though you need to lengthen the legs completely here. If we have quite tight hamstrings anyway, this might feel nicer. This might feel nicer than kind of trying to reach towards the toes and getting that rounded back. Let's focus on keeping this long spine. So squishing the belly against your thighs, lead with the heart, beautiful. And over time, maybe we slide the heels out in front, keeping this close proximity between your belly and thighs. Softly coming further into that fold. Beautiful. Let's spend a few moments here. Nice and easy. Lovely. A deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out through the mouth. Let's take 2 more of those. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out through the mouth. 1 more. A deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Beautiful. As you inhale, steadily roll up through the spine. Nice and easy, begin to walk your hands back behind you. And then let yourselves roll all the way down onto your backs. You can take a moment to just arrive here, welcome in any little bits of movement that feel good for you. Perhaps you take a lovely full body stretch, or you might want to draw the knees into the chest. Anything goes here, just feel free to take a moment to listen to your bodies. Lovely. Notice whether we can breathe that little bit more deeply here. Notice whether we feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more centered perhaps. Okay. Take 1 more deep breath in. 1 more deep breath out. And then when you're ready, float the feet back down to the earth if they're not there already. You can keep the knees bent for your Shavasana, keeping that connection between the lower spine and the mat. Or it might feel quite nice to kick the heels away from you, lengthen the legs long. Separate the legs slightly so let the toes flop out to the sides. Backs the hands may come to the earth, fingertips naturally curling in, or maybe the hands rest on a particular place on the body, a place that needs a little bit more attention, maybe the belly, the chest, coming back to the heart space. Find a place that feels good, and wherever you land, land softly. Closing off the eyes, closing the outside world again. Sending your awareness to your internal world. As we rest here, inviting in as much of the softness we possibly can. Letting yourselves truly rest, so letting go of anything you may have been holding on to, or anything that's been holding on to you, holding you back. And there's no need to grip or push or pull. We can just be. Remembering again to give yourselves time and space, and often giving yourselves permission to be here in the moment is the greatest gift we could ever give ourselves. So let yourself indulge in these next few moments of stillness, quiet, calm, peace, remaining here for as long as you need. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Softly sigh out through the mouth. And again, deep breath in through the nose. Softly sigh out through the mouth. One more time, deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Slowly welcome back little bits of movement here and there, fingertips, toes, wrists, ankles. Move as much or as little as you'd like as you gently wake yourselves back up. And again, you can take a full body stretch, you can draw the knees in. Whatever you feel called to do here, just take a moment to follow, observe. And then when you're ready, choosing a side, either the left or the right, and softly let yourselves fall over to that one side. When you're ready, you can push down through the hands to gently lift you all the way up. Take your time, no need to rush. And just bring yourselves into a comfortable seated position. Doesn't have to be anything in particular, just a place where you can sit for a few moments. Finding that the palms of the hands meet the knees. Slide those shoulders down and away from those ears. Let's close our eyes as we seal our practice, as always, with the final blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. And may you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, we bring the palms, hands together in front of the heart. And we bow. Thank you so much for joining me today for that little slow flow. I hope it was that little perhaps midday reset or morning reset, whatever it is, whatever you needed today. And I hope you continue to have a lovely rest of your day, whatever it is you are doing. And I will be back next Sunday with another free class for you. Hope to see you then. Mwah.